The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** is a self-help book written by blogger and author Mark Manson. In this book, Manson challenges traditional self-help advice that suggests we should always be positive, happy, and optimistic. Instead, he argues that it is more important to choose what to care about in life and not waste energy on things that don't matter. Manson's message is refreshing and empowering. He encourages readers to stop striving for a perfect life and embrace their flaws and limitations. He believes that by doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of self-awareness and personal growth. The book is also notable for its blunt language and irreverent humor, which makes it an entertaining and relatable read. At its core, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** is about learning to accept and cope with the inevitable pain and discomfort that come with life. Manson argues that we cannot avoid adversity, but we can choose how we respond to it. He challenges readers to take responsibility for their actions and decisions and offers practical advice on how to cultivate a more positive mindset. We have 5 lessons to learn from this book. Number 5. Don't be afraid to fail. The idea that taking responsibility for our own lives is essential to achieving success and happiness. Manson argues that too often, people blame external factors such as their upbringing, their environment, or their circumstances for their problems, rather than taking responsibility for their own choices and actions. Manson suggests that taking responsibility for our lives means acknowledging that we have agency and control over our own choices, even in difficult or challenging circumstances. He argues that by recognizing that we are not victims of our circumstances, but rather active participants in our own lives, we can take steps to improve our situation and work towards our goals. According to Manson, it is the ability to embrace failure and learn from our mistakes. He argues that failure is an inevitable part of the process of growth and success, and that by embracing failure and using it as an opportunity to learn and grow, we can become more resilient and better equipped to handle future challenges. Manson also emphasizes the importance of setting realistic expectations for ourselves and our lives. He argues that too often, people set unrealistic or unattainable goals for themselves, which can lead to disappointment and frustration. Manson suggests that by setting realistic expectations and focusing on progress rather than perfection, we can experience a greater sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Manson suggests that taking responsibility for our lives also means being honest with ourselves about our strengths and weaknesses, and seeking out help or support when we need it. He argues that too often, people are afraid to admit their weaknesses or ask for help, which can prevent them from making progress and achieving their goals. Manson suggests that by being honest with ourselves and seeking out help when we need it, we can become more effective and successful in our endeavors. By recognizing our agency and control, taking action towards our goals, embracing failure, setting realistic expectations, and being honest with ourselves, we can achieve success and happiness in all areas of life. These lessons can be applied to personal growth, career development, relationships, and more, and can help us become more resilient, effective, and fulfilled individuals. Number 4. Accept your limitations. The idea that happiness is not a destination, but rather a byproduct of living a meaningful life. Manson argues that too often, people are focused on trying to achieve happiness as a goal in and of itself, which can ultimately lead to frustration and disappointment. Manson suggests that happiness is a byproduct of living a life that is aligned with our values and priorities. He argues that by focusing on what is truly important to us and working towards goals that are meaningful and fulfilling, we can experience a sense of purpose and satisfaction that leads to greater overall happiness. Manson suggests that embracing the inevitability of pain and suffering can actually lead to a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment. He argues that pain and suffering are a natural part of the human experience, and that by accepting this reality and learning to cope with difficult emotions, we can become more resilient and better equipped to deal with life's challenges. Another important aspect of living a meaningful life, according to Manson, is the ability to confront our own mortality. He argues that too often, people are in denial about the fact that we will all eventually die, which can prevent them from living fully in the present moment. Manson suggests that by embracing our own mortality and recognizing the impermanence of life, we can appreciate the present moment more fully and make the most of the time we have. Manson suggests that a key component of living a meaningful life is the ability to cultivate a sense of gratitude and appreciation for what we already have. He argues that too often, people are focused on what they lack or what they want, which can prevent them from fully appreciating the blessings in their lives. Manson suggests that by practicing gratitude and focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we can experience greater happiness and fulfillment. By focusing on our values and priorities, embracing the inevitability of pain and suffering, finding meaning and purpose in our lives, confronting our own mortality, and cultivating gratitude, we can experience greater happiness and fulfillment. These lessons can be applied to all areas of life, from personal growth to work to relationships and beyond. Number 3. Take responsibility for your life. Manson argues that relationships are one of the most important sources of fulfillment and happiness in life, and that by investing in our relationships with others, we can improve our overall well-being. Manson suggests that healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, honesty, and vulnerability. He argues that many people are too focused on trying to maintain a certain image or persona, which can ultimately prevent them from forming deep and meaningful connections with others. Manson suggests that by being honest and vulnerable with others, we can build trust and intimacy, and form deeper connections with those around us. Manson emphasizes the importance of setting healthy boundaries in our relationships. He argues that too often, people sacrifice their own needs and desires in order to please others or avoid conflict, which can lead to resentment and dissatisfaction in the long run. Manson suggests that by setting clear boundaries and communicating our needs and desires to others, we can improve our relationships and ensure that they are based on mutual respect and understanding. Another important aspect of healthy relationships, according to Manson, is the ability to forgive and let go of grudges. He argues that holding on to anger and resentment towards others can be toxic and ultimately harm our own well-being. Manson suggests that by practicing forgiveness and letting go of grudges, we can free ourselves from negative emotions and improve our relationships with others. Manson suggests that healthy relationships are based on mutual growth and support. He argues that by supporting and encouraging others to grow and improve, we can also improve our own lives and relationships. Manson suggests that by being a positive influence in the lives of others, we can create a network of support and connection that can help us achieve our goals and live a more fulfilling life. By being honest and vulnerable, setting healthy boundaries, practicing forgiveness, being present, and supporting the growth of others, we can form deeper and more meaningful connections with those around us and improve our overall well-being. These lessons can be applied to all types of relationships, from romantic partnerships to friendships to professional connections. Number 2. Embrace discomfort. The idea of embracing discomfort and challenges as a way to grow and improve. Manson argues that many people are too focused on avoiding discomfort and seeking comfort, which can ultimately hold them back from reaching their full potential. Manson suggests that discomfort and challenges are necessary for growth and improvement, and that by embracing these things, we can become stronger and more resilient. He argues that by avoiding discomfort, we are also avoiding opportunities for growth and learning. Manson uses the metaphor of a weightlifter to illustrate this point. A weightlifter who only lifts light weights will never become stronger, as they are not challenging themselves enough. In order to become stronger, they must lift heavier weights that challenge their muscles and push them out of their comfort zone. Similarly, in life, we must embrace challenges and discomfort in order to grow and become stronger. Manson also emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our lives and the choices we make. He argues that too often, people blame external factors for their problems and failures, rather than taking ownership of their choices and actions. Manson suggests that by taking responsibility for our lives, we can regain a sense of control and agency and make choices that align with our values and priorities. Manson suggests that accepting our limitations and flaws can be empowering and lead to a more fulfilling life. He argues that too often, people are focused on trying to be perfect or flawless, which is ultimately a futile pursuit. Instead, Manson suggests that we should accept our flaws and limitations and focus on improving in areas where we can make progress. By embracing discomfort and challenges, taking responsibility for our lives, accepting our limitations and flaws, and taking risks, we can become stronger, more resilient, and more fulfilled. These lessons can be applied to all areas of life, from personal growth to relationships to work and beyond. Number 1. Focus on what is important. One of the main lessons of the book is that it is important to focus on what truly matters. Manson argues that many people are caught up in a constant cycle of chasing after things that they think will make them happy or successful, such as money, fame, or material possessions. However, he argues that these things often do not bring the lasting fulfillment that people are seeking. Instead, Manson suggests that people should focus on their values and priorities, and direct their attention and energy towards things that are truly important to them. This can include things like personal growth, relationships, and meaningful work. By focusing on these things, people can create a sense of purpose and fulfillment in their lives that is more sustainable and meaningful than chasing after superficial or fleeting goals. Manson also emphasizes the importance of letting go of things that do not matter. This includes things like other people's opinions, superficial comparisons with others, and worries about things that are outside of our control. By learning to let go of these things, people can free up their energy and attention to focus on what truly matters. Another key aspect of the book is the importance of being honest with yourself about what you truly want and need in life. Manson argues that many people are afraid to confront their true desires and needs, and instead try to conform to what they think they should want or need based on societal expectations or pressure from others. However, he suggests that it is important to be honest with yourself about what you truly want and need, and to make choices based on your own values and priorities, rather than the expectations of others. By identifying our values and priorities, letting go of things that do not matter, and being honest with ourselves about what we truly want and need, we can create a sense of purpose and fulfillment in our lives that is more sustainable and meaningful than chasing after superficial or fleeting goals. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** by Mark Manson offers valuable lessons on how to live a more fulfilling and satisfying life. From learning to prioritize what truly matters to taking responsibility for our own choices and actions, the book provides practical advice and insights that can be applied to a variety of aspects in our lives. To put these lessons into practice, it is important to first identify what truly matters to us and what we want to achieve. We can then focus our attention and efforts on those priorities, rather than getting bogged down by unimportant distractions or concerns. Taking responsibility for our lives means recognizing that we have agency and control over our choices and actions, even in difficult circumstances. We can use this recognition to take action towards our goals, embrace failure as an opportunity to learn and grow, and set realistic expectations for ourselves. Being honest with ourselves about our strengths and weaknesses and seeking out help or support when needed can help us become more effective and successful in our endeavors. As we move forward, we can apply these lessons to our personal and professional lives, relationships, and overall well-being. By prioritizing what matters, taking responsibility, embracing failure, setting realistic expectations, and being honest with ourselves, we can live more fulfilling and satisfying lives.